for so long. Your heart's been aching, but you're too shy to say, hey, sorry for no what's been going on. We know the game and we're gonna play. I just wanna tell you how I feel. Gotta make you understand. Not gonna get you up, not gonna let you down, not gonna run around. Desert you, not gonna make you die, not gonna say goodbye, not gonna say goodbye and gratitude. Not gonna get you up, not gonna let you down, not gonna run around. Desert you, not gonna make you cry, not gonna say goodbye, not gonna say goodbye and gratitude. Not gonna get you up, not gonna let you down, not gonna run around. Desert you.
Can't we please just have a normal conversation for once?
Oh, come on! Squidward, lighten up!
Yeah? Squidward, don't be such a grump.
Ow! Can't we please not bring Gary into this? He's the only one with any sense around here.
Hey now, that's not very nice.
Now, leave Gary alone!
Ow! Can we please just talk about something other than SpongeBob and Patrick for once?
What do you mean? We have the most interesting things to talk about.
Yeah, who wouldn't want to talk about us?
Ow! Can't we please stop talking about yourselves and focus on something else?
But what else is there to talk about besides us?
Yeah, I could think of anything else either.
Ow! Can we please try to have an intelligent conversation for once in our lives?
Hey now, I'm plenty smart. I know all the ingredients for a Krabby Patty.
And I know how to count jellyfish. 1, 2, 4.
Meow, meow, meow. Can we please just end this conversation before my brain explodes from stupidity overload?
All right, let's settle this once and for all. What's the best game that the Vince plays?
I know, Minecraft.
No way! Fortnite's where it is!
Falcons is the clear winner here.
Ow!
Dr. Junior!
Turn over.
Come on, guys. We need to make a decision. We can't just keep arguing like this.
Minecraft has so many possibilities. It's endless fun.
Just one more game has constant updates to make the challenge everything.
Falcons is perfect for making money with those microtransactions. Lottery, but memorial parties to Rush brings everyone together for a good time. Like Dr. Chuck, Squidward, Colo, French narrator, SpongeBob SquarePants, and please reboot software.
How about we just play them all and decide which one we like best?
Esquire!
Esquire, what are you doing here, Mrs.
Oh, just trying to teach SpongeBob how to drive properly. He's such a reckless driver.
Hey, I heard that.
Well, it's true. Need to follow the guidelines of the road.
But what about having fun and being spontaneous?
Fun, spontaneous. Those words don't exist in my classroom.
But isn't learning supposed to be fun?
Not when you're driving a boat through a Bikini Bottom.
Esquire, ha! Sounds like someone needs to loosen up a bit.
Says the one who's always trying to steal the Krabby Patty formula and take over the world.
Says the one who can't even control her own students. How many times has SpongeBob failed his boating test now?
I'm working on it. Okay. It's not easy being a sponge with no arms or legs trying to drive a boatmobile.
I've had enough of your excuses, SpongeBob. You need discipline and structure in your life if you want to succeed as a driver.
Fine then, I'll just go back to flipping burgers at the Krusty Krab where I'm appreciated for my talent and creativity.
You read it.
Esquire, oh, don't worry, SpongeBob. I'll help you get your boating license.
Really? You would do that for me?
Of course! We can be partners in crime!
Partners in crime? What kind of example are you setting for my students?
Esquire, the only example I'm setting is how to have fun and life on the edge!
SpongeBob, don't listen to him. Stick to the guidelines and you'll be a successful driver.
I don't know who to listen to.
Esquire, listen to me, SpongeBob. Let's go cause some chaos and mayhem together.
SpongeBob, no, don't give in to his evil ways.
I just want everyone to get along.
Esquire, ha! That's not possible when there's only one true ruler of Bikini Bottom Plankton!
Says the teddy little failure who can never seem to steal the Krabby Patty formula.
Imp, at least I'm not stuck teaching a sponge how to drive all day!
I think I've had enough driving lessons for today. I'm gonna go make some Krabby Patties now.
Fine then, leave me here with this delusional plankton.
Ha ha! Looks like it's just you and me now, Mrs. Puff.
Get away from me before I call the police on you again.
No fun at all.
Hey, Mommy Puff, can I get a refill on my drink?
Of course, SpongeBob. Here you go.
Thanks for the fun, Mommy Puff.
You're welcome, Patrick.
Why do guys always call her Mommy Puff? It's so weird.
Shut your trap, Squidward. She's like a mother to us all.
Hello there, Mrs. Puff Jr.
Oh no, in Plankton.
What? Wanted to say hi to my dear old mommy. I mean, Mrs. Puff Jr.
Hey, Mr. Krabs, have you ever thought about calling her something else besides Mom?
Like what? Mammy Crabs. That doesn't have the same ring to it.
How about Mother of the Sea?
Shut up, Patrick.
All right, everyone settle down. Let's just enjoy our meal in peace, please.
Sorry, Mommy. I mean, my Sis Puff Jr. We'll behave from now on.
Yeah, sorry, Mother of the Sea. Oops, I mean Mrs. Puff Jr. What happened again?
Can't we just eat already? This conversation is making me lose my appetite.
Aye, Squidward. Digging everyone before I make you want the plank.
Oh, but here we go again with your pirate fantasies. Mrs. Puff.
Looks like I win again. Patrick!
Throws poop?
Oh, come on. Don't be a sore loser. It's just a game.
Throws poop?
Seriously? You're throwing your poop all over my house?
Throws poop?
That's disgusting. Patrick! And it smells terrible.
Throws poop?
Now I have to clean this up. Thanks a lot, Patrick.
Throws poop?
You know what? I'm done playing with you. Get out of my house!
Throws poop?
No, not in the kitchen. That's where we make Krabby Patties.
Throws poop?
Ow! Don't worry, buddy. We'll get through this together. Just stay away from the flying feces. Ow! Look at what you've done! My whole house is covered in your crap.
Throws poop.
Ow! Enough is enough! Get out of here before I call the police on you for vandalism and animal abuse. Ow! Throws poop!
Throws poop?
Ow! Don't worry, Gary. We'll get through this together. Just stay away from the flying feces. Again,
Meow, meow, meow.
What the fuck is wrong with you, Plankton? Why do you keep saying I'm a built over and over again?
Yeah, it's getting really annoying. Can't you say anything else?
Maybe he's trying to tell us something. Like maybe he wants to be a bee or something.
Shut up, Maverick. That doesn't even make sense. I am a built!
Oh my god, shut the fuck up! We get it! You're a fucking build!
Hey guys, what does build even mean?
I don't know and I don't care. All I know is that Plankton needs to stop saying it before I lose my shit. I am a built!
Seriously though? Why are you so obsessed with being a build? Is this some kind of weird fetish or something?
Maybe he wants to start his own colony of bees and become their king.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Can we please just move on from this stupid topic already? Fine. I'll stop talking about being a bee lieutenant.
Wow, thanks for finally coming to your senses.
Yeah, Plankton, we were all just worried about your mental health.
Whatever. Let's just go get some Krabby Patties now that this nonsense is over with. Fucking assholes. I am a bee lieutenant.
Oh man, that never gets old. I don't know what the hell is going on with Dr. Brainrot Jr. We're not doing what you want, not because you do what you did about you and then
That guy's a real piece of shit.
What do you mean? He seemed like a nice enough guy when I met him.
Nice! Are you kidding me? That dude is batshit crazy.
He's got some serious issues, like the time he tried to turn us all into mindless zombies.
Wait!
Oh yeah, and remember when he made us all wear those ridiculous brainwashing helmets?
And then there was the time he convinced us to rob a bank for him.
Okay, get it. He's not exactly the most stable person in the world.
No shit. And now everyone in town is talking about how he's building some kind of doomsday device or something.
A doomsday device? What the fuck?
This just keeps getting better and better.
I don't know why we keep getting involved with this lunatic.
Because it's so much fun being dragged into his insane skins every other week.
Well, maybe if we stopped hanging out with him.
One day here and the next day gone. Sometimes you're feeling, sometimes you're staying, sometimes you tuck your back to the wind. This world outside every darkened door, where blues won't haunt you anymore. Where the brave are free and lovers soul. Come ride with me to the distant shore. Even hesitate to break down the garden gate. There's not much time left today.
the fuck do you want, Mr. Krabs?
I just want to ask you a question. Squidward,
Well, what is it? Spit it out before I lose my fucking mind.
have you seen Mrs. Puff around? I need to talk to her about something important.
Oh, so now you're interested in Mrs. Puff after all these years of ignoring her and chasing after money.
Hey now, don't bring that up again. We've been through this before.
Did someone say my sis? Is she here?
Yeah, where's she at? I want to see her too.
Meow, meow.
Shut the fuck up! You idiots are ruining my peace and quiet!
No, boys. She's not here right now.
Oh man.
But when will she be back? Meow.
Mrs. Puff, just wanted to ask if we could borrow some money from your revenge tool fund.
Looks like someone finally got a taste of their own medicine.
Fine. We'll leave you alone. Come on, boys. Let's go find another way to make money.
Finally, some peace and quiet. Now I can get back to my clarinet practice. Fuck my life. What the fuck? SpongeBob, you killed Mr. Krabs with a fucking chainsaw.
Yeah, I did. And now I'm sentenced to life in prison.
Dude, that's fucked up.
Meow.
Shut the fuck up. Harry, this is serious.
But guys, I can go to prison. I have to get back to Lukaku Zero.
What the hell is Look at You Zero?
It's my online gaming community. They need me. Meow, meow.
Oh my god, shut your fucking trap already!
So what are you gonna do then?
I'm gonna escape. Duh. Meow. I've been studying this for weeks. There's a secret tunnel that leads straight out of here and back to Lukaku Zero.
Dude, you're insane. You'll never make it out alive.
Meow.
Shut up and let him talk!
So how are you gonna get past all the guards and security cameras?
Meow.
Oh man, this is too good. SpongeBob trying to escape from prison. Classic.
Oh great, now we're all fucked.
No. This wasn't part of the plan.
What the fuck do we do now?
Meow. Wait, I can explain everything.
Well, that was a fucking disaster.
Meow.
Shut up, Gary, just shut up!
Reverend, welcome back to the Plankton Show, where we're talking about the all-new 2006 Honda Civic. This car is a game changer. Folks. With its sleek design and fuel efficiency, you'll be turning heads on the road while saving money at the pump. Reverend. And let's not forget about safety. The 2006 Honda Civic comes equipped with airbags and anti-lock brakes to keep you and your loved ones safe on your adventures. Reverend. But what really sets this car apart from the rest is its reliability. You can trust that this baby will get you from point A to point B without any hiccups or breakdowns along the way. No more worrying about being stranded on the side of the road like some other cars out there. Reverend Rev, Reverend. And for all my fellow city dwellers out there, this car is perfect for navigating through tight streets and finding parking in those cramped spaces thanks to its compact size and great handling capabilities. Say goodbye to parallel parking nightmares. Rev. Plus, with its spacious interior and ample trunk space, you'll have plenty of room for all your groceries or even a weekend getaway bag. Talk about convenience. Rev. So I settle for anything less than perfection. Get yourself a 2006 Honda Civic today and join me in experiencing true driving bliss. Don't wait any longer. Your injury.
Hey, Planky, old pal. I couldn't help but over your little sales pitch here.
You Planky boy, got to say I'm impressed by all these features you were spouting off.
Hey, I'm just telling it like it is. This car speaks for itself.
But what about the price? Is this car gonna break the bank?
Not at all, my dear SpongeBob. 2006 Honda Civic is affordable for everyone. Rev.
Well, I'll be darned. Maybe I should trade in my old lunker for one of these bad boys.
That's right, Muspuff. You won't regret it. Rev.
And what about maintenance? Will this car cost me an arm and a leg to keep running?
Absolutely not. With its low maintenance costs and high resale value, you'll actually be saving money in the long run by choosing the 2006 Honda Civic. Rev.
Well, Planky, you've really convinced us. We'll take two.
That's what I like to hear. Now let's hit the road and show off our new rides. Rendry.
American made, but life's seven made. My mama taught me wrong some right. I was born in the South. Sometimes I have a big mouth when I see something that I don't like. I gotta say it. We've been driving this road for a mighty long time, paying no mind to the signs. Well, this neighborhood's changed, it's all been rearranged. We left that tear somewhere behind. Settle down, don't look fast. Radio is screaming, it's a blast, blast, blast. Look out, baby, you got your blunders on. Everybody's looking for a way to get real gone, real gone, real gone. There's a new cat in town, he's got high-paid friends. Thinks he's gonna change history. You think you know him so well, yeah, you think he's so swell, but he's just perpetuating prophecy. Come on now, slow down, don't act fast. Radio is screaming, it's a blast, blast, blast. Look out, you got your blinders on. Everybody's looking for a way to get real cold. Real cold. Real cold. Real cold. Well, you can say what you want, but you can't say it around here. Cause they'll catch you and give you a whipping. Well, I believe I was right when I said you were wrong. You didn't like the sound of that. Now, did you? Slow down, it don't look fast. Radio is screaming, it's a blast, blast, blast. Look out, you got your blinders on. Everybody's looking for a way to get a real gone. Well, here I come, and I'm so not scared. Got my pedal to the metal, got my hands in the air. And look out, you take your blinders off. Everybody's looking for a way to get real gone, real gone. Real gone. Real gone. Real gone.
Chinese like a melody in my head that I can't keep out of me singing like na 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 every day's like my eyeballs like a replay, replay. Chinese like a melody in my head that I can't keep out of me singing like na 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 every day's like my eyeballs like a replay, replay. Remember the first time we met? You was at the mall with your friend. I was scared to approach her, but then you came close. I hoping you would give me a chance. Who would have ever knew that we would ever be more than friends? We're friend rule twice, breaking all the rules. She like a song, say they get into it again. That kind like some of a poster. That kind is a gun, they say. That kind is a gun to my holster. And she's waiting for my mind all day. Hey, Charlie's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out of me singing that. Na 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 every day's like my eyeballs up on the plate, replay. Charlie's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out of me singing that. Na 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 every day's like my eyeballs up on the plate, replay. See you seen all around the globe. Now, once did you leave my mind? We talk on the phone from night till the morning. God, he really changed my life. doing things I never do. I'm in the kitchen cooking things she likes, but railroad white breaking all the rules. Someday I wanna make you my one. That kind like some of a boaster. That car is a damn they say. That car is a gun to my house. Cause she's running to my ruin all day. Hey, Charlie's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like na 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 every day. Let my heart cross, let my replay. Charlie's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like na 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 every day. Let my heart cross, let my replay. I can be your melody, a girl that can write you a symphony, the one that can fill your fantasies. So come, baby girl, let's sing with me. And I can be your melody, a girl that can write you a symphony, the one that can fill your fantasies. So come, baby girl, let's sing with me. Sorry, now we singing. She got me singing. Shawty's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like na 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 every day. Slap a hard boss to go play. Shawty's like a melody in my head that I can't keep out. Got me singing like na 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 every day. Slap a hard boss to go play.
All right, everyone, listen up. I have some big news to share with you all.
What is it now, Karen? Another one of your terrible songs?
Excuse me, Plankton, but my music career is taking off. I'm going on tour.
Oh, great! More noise pollution for the Bikini Bottom residents.
Shut your trap, Plankton. My fans love my music and they can get enough of it.
Fans! You mean those butts you program too, like your crappy songs?
How dare you insult my fans? They are real and they appreciate my talent.
Talent? More like a malfunctioning voice box.
That's it, Plankton. I've had enough of your insults. You're just jealous because no one likes your music.
Hey, at least I don't rely on auto-tune to sound decent.
Auto-tune, how dare you accuse me of using such a cheap trick?
Oh, please, Karen, we'll know the truth. Your singing is as fake as our marriage.
Don't bring that up again. Our marriage may be fake, but my music career is real.
Real disaster, maybe. Your sons make nails on a chalkboard sound pleasant.
That's it, Plankton. We're done here. I'm leaving for my tour and never coming back.
Gotcha.
And I was like, okay, good, I
Hey,
lost him.
Patrick,
When I turned
let
around,
go of my
boom,
nose.
he stabbed me
No
right in
way.
the
I'm
kidney.
having too much fun with
And I
this.
felt it and I woke up. And I was
What
like,
the hell is going on here?
So when I woke
Just
up
having a
from my
little fun with my best friend, Slug Nose.
That's disgusting. You two are like a couple of immature children.
Squillia, what are you doing here?
Just passing by and witnessing these two idiots playing around.
Meow. 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 Meow.
Shut up, Gary. This doesn't concern you.
Meow.
Can we please get back to the topic at hand?
Yes, can we please talk about something else? This is getting old real fast.
Oh, come on, it's not every day I get to hold onto your giant skin nozzle like this. It's hilarious.
Yes. Because bullying your friends for physical features is just so funny and entertaining. Grow up, Patrick.
Yeah, bro. Meow.
Alright, fine. If you're not going to let go, then I'll just have to use force.
Meow? I can't believe I wasted my time witnessing this nonsense.
Well, at least we provided some entertainment for you, Squilliam.
Whatever, you are hopeless.
And yet, we still love them anyways. We all...
Hey!
Just kidding, but seriously, let's not do that again. It was just plain mean.
Yeah, sorry about that, buddy.
It's okay, Patrick. We'll always be best friends no matter what crazy things you come up with next. Meow.
Meow, meow, meow,
Meow, meow, meow.
The joys of friendship.
Hey, Karen, have you heard about the new technology, Lurvod?
Yeah, I heard it's supposed to be amazing.
what are you two talking about?
Meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow. But it's so cool. I really want one.
Me too. Like the ultimate gadget.
But have you seen the price? It's ridiculous.
Exactly, only idiots would waste their money on something like that.
Meow.
Meow, meow, meow.
Meow, meow, meow. But think of all the things we could do with it. The possibilities are endless.
Yeah, and imagine how much easier our lives would be with all that advanced technology at our fingertips.
Oh, well, you guys are such nerds. Always obsessed with the latest gadgets and gizmos.
And what happens when this lure-eyed becomes outfit in a few months? You'll just throw it away and get the next big thing.
Meow. But, I still really want one.
Oh, fine. Let's go get those stupid lure vibes then. Happy now, Edwin?
Oh, look and go running off to buy some overpriced piece of junk.
Meow.
I'm so tired of being here, suppressed by all my childish fears. And if you after me, I wish that you would just leave.
presence delinquents here, and it won't make me be alone. These wounds won't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. When you cried, I'd wipe away all your tears. You'd scream, I'd fight away all your fears. And I held your hand for all these years. But you stand there for all of me. You used to captivate me by your resonating light. Now I'm bound by the life you left behind. Your face it haunts my once pleasant coos. Your voice it chased away all the sanity in me. These wounds won't seem to heal. This pain is just too real. There's just too much that time cannot erase. When you cried, I wipe away all your tears. When you screamed, I fight away all your fears. And I held your hand for all these years. When you stand only try to want to tell myself that you're gone. But though you're still with me, I've been alone.
What the hell is going on here?
Oh, Squidward, it was just looking for some paperwork.
But Mrs. Puff, why are you in Mr. Krabs' office?
Well, you see, I needed to borrow his stapler.
That doesn't look like a stapler to me.
Meow, meow, meow. Code 44, lock the doors. We have a thief in our midst.
No, not what it looks like.
Then what is it? Because it looked like you're trying to steal from Mr. Krabs.
I was just borrowing some money for my driving school.
But Mrs. Puff, That's not ethical.
Yeah, you can just take money without asking.
Stamina. You will not be able to deploy a maid for a certain period of
Code
time.
44, lock the doors. This is an outrage.
Don't tell anyone about this. I'll do anything.
Anything, well then maybe we can make a deal.
What kind of deal?
You give me half of that money and I won't say a word.
That sounds fair to me.
No deal. We must uphold justice and turn her into Mr. Krabs immediately.
If the food is served, you will receive satisfaction scores and the customer leaves after eating the food. If food isn't served, the current satisfaction score will be deducted. You can extra scores if food is served by made designated by the customer.
Hey, Karen! Have you heard about Plankton's new singing career?
If the order is correctly served, it
No,
will trigger
but I'm sure it's
the
terrible.
game. You can get extra
That
scores
little
and
shrimp
recover the
couldn't
main
carry a
stamina
tune
for
if
the
his
game.
life depended on it.
And he wants us to be his audience. No thanks.
But I want to hear him sing. He might be really good.
Patrick, you don't even know what good music sounds like.
Okay.
Exactly. And neither
I'll
does
figure it out.
Plankton.
Too much to read. I'll figure it out. I'm on it. I'll figure it out. What do I do?
It's reach coming from someone who could only play one note on her keyboard.
Wait, who the fuck is this
darn.
one? Oh, event.
Hey guys, let's give Plankton a chance. Maybe he'll surprise us all and become the next big music star.
Okay.
Oh yeah, because that happens all the time in Bikini Bottom.
Whatever. Let's just get this over with so we can go back to our normal with the not listening to Plankton sing.
Fine,
that's
but
not
if
full-
my ears
what the
start bleeding, I'm blaming all of you for making me listen to this garbage.
I swear.
Oh, come on, Mr. Krabs. Can't be that bad. Can
Here
it?
it comes. Get ready for some amazing singing from our very own Plankton.
I only had one chance. Oh, this one. Lobby.
The snow glows white on the mountain tonight, not a footprint to be seen.
Oh, salad. I'm trying. Put up. Put up. No! Okay. I got the hang of it. Sort of. Mm-hmm. How do I get the other difficulties? Clean. Must play more? Welcome, Master. Welcome, Master.
People are upset with Chick-fil-A after this girl did something funny and went viral, then got fired. So this girl was just fired from working at Chick-fil-A a couple of days ago when a customer decided to start recording her while she was working. And while taking an order, this girl kind of made a funny face and the video quickly went up on TikTok.
Good enough.
No Chick-fil-A sauce? No Chick-fil-A sauce.
A lot of people found the video funny and were saying she looked like
that's
the
the wrong
duck
foot.
from Chicken Little. But shortly after, Chick-fil-A saw this video on TikTok, the store manager fired her on the spot. This is causing a lot of people to get upset about this, saying she didn't do anything wrong and she was making the customers laugh. And a lot of people are mentioning she wasn't even the one who was recording in the store. How could she get fired? But this got even worse when her TikTok account also got taken down by TikTok for no reason. Now some are saying the official Chick-fil-A must have saw the video and decided to contact the store manager to fire her along with taking her account down. People are
Salad. Event. Prop. Prop. Cake. Prop. More cake. Prop. Prop. Fuck the bunny. Perfecto. Okay, cool. Prop salad. No! I gave them the wrong foot! No! Unlucky. Man, I ordered a ketchup bunny. Hello?
Suck.
Oh no. The more you play, the more you unlock. Challenge. Boop.
Everyone, it's time to move.
Okay, let's do. Should reset it in half an hour. That is poopy timing. Oh, fuck it. I'm not gonna be stingy.
Even though it is a flawed game, Kuon certainly wormed its way
Everyone,
into my
it's
mind.
time to move.
Little in-joke
I'm
there
not gonna
for
be
Kuon
stingy.
fans. The characters, the story, the setting, the visuals, the art and sound design, the atmosphere, everything is top-notch. Aside from some wonkiness related to combat and the different difficulty modes, this is a game that could stand tall with the classics of the survival horror genre. However, like most of From Software's early library, it got mediocre reviews, had few copies printed, and still didn't sell all that well, which is a huge shame. Kuon is set in Japan's ancient Heian period and concerns the demon-infested Fujiwara Manor and a bizarre ritual involving silkworms, mulberry trees, wicker chests, dead bodies, both human and otherwise, and a rivalry between the leaders of two demon-hunting factions. So today, let's explore From Software's flawed survival horror masterpiece, Kuon. Kuon was released by From Software in 2004 for the PlayStation 2. It came out during what could arguably be considered the tail end of the survival horror boom in the gaming market that happened in the late 90s and early 2000s, before Resident Evil 4 came along and changed the course of the horror genre for a few years. Before we dive further into Kuon, I want to thank these dungeon dwellers who support me on Patreon, and now through YouTube memberships as well. So if you'd like to be one of the fine folks who gets to watch videos early, along with other perks, become a dungeon dweller. Join us. More details on how to do that at the end of the video. Right from the title screen, Kuon hits you with its special brand of creepy vibes. You hear this childish singing, and the art here changes between 3 different backgrounds each time you turn on the game, but they all have this blinking eye animation that's just so unsettling.
Oh my god!
I've used this Mr. Plinkett meme way too much recently. The menu song here also has translations available online, and as you might expect, the lyrics are incredibly disturbing. The first line, where it repeats Hashizoro-e, refers to a ritual where a baby who has grown its teeth is fed its first meal. And as we'll come to see, eating after some kind of transformation is a central element to Kuon's narrative. I won't go through all of the lyrics, but there's a lot of inversions of innocent-sounding things, again lining up with the nursery rhyme style melody of the song, and a lot of lines that refer to specific parts of Kuon's story. Very creepy. In Kuon, you choose between 2 playable characters at the outset, with a third unlocking after you beat the game with the first 2, but we'll save that one for the spoiler section. Initially, there's Utsuki, the daughter of a powerful Onmyoji named Doman. The English translation refers to the Onmyoji as astrologers, or exorcists, but the more literal translation is a yin and yang master. Onmyoji were actually a real class of people in ancient Japan. During the Heian period, from roughly the years 794 to 1185, they held a powerful position in society, similar to the samurai of the later eras of Japanese history. As I mentioned in my Cosmology of Kyoto video, a game that also takes place during the same time period as Kuon, link in the description if you haven't seen it, Japan was a very superstitious place during the Heian period, and the Onmyoji were specialists who were in charge of tasks such as maintaining the accuracy of calendars, as well as warding off evil spirits and performing divinations. In Kuon, many of the characters are Onmyoji. Speaking of which, the second character, Sakuya, is a disciple of Doman, Utsuki's father, and an Onmyoji in training. Further keeping with the Onmyoji original meaning, Utsuki represents the yin phase of the story, and Sakuya represents the yang phase. You can choose either character from the outset, but unlike, say, Resident Evil 2, there's no A or B scenario for the characters. They stay the same no matter which you choose first. Still, I feel like Utsuki's scenario is the best one to start with. It feels like the introduction, and Sakuya is where the real story begins. Utsuki's side is also a bit easier, and sets up a lot of central mysteries that receive answers in Sakuya's scenario, though there are elements and other events that will only make sense once you've completed both character sides of the story. It's honestly really well done, and I'll get more into the nitty-gritty of the story later. After you choose your character, you actually get a difficulty selection. Who says FromSoft doesn't know how to do modal difficulty? Well, actually, I'll also get more into the weirdness of these settings when we get around to talking about the combat. There's a lot of overlap between the 2 characters' scenarios, but there's also points where things diverge, and you'll visit places and collect items in slightly different orders. And in Sakuya's case, you'll go to an entirely separate area with its own special enemies and boss. Utsuki only fights 2 bosses, but Sakuya fights 4. She also has this half-baked Mr. X mechanic where you sort of get chased by an evil spirit, but only on certain screens, and it's not really much of a threat. Anyway, I appreciated the differences nonetheless. The opening cutscene shows Lord Fujiwara being awakened in the middle of the night by some kind of disturbance. He goes off to investigate and is freaked out by a bunch of bugs crawling from one of the walls. As he tries to compose himself, he's attacked and killed by a dark-haired woman who drags his dead body to a room with some twins playing together by candlelight. Aw. The twins then help the woman fold up Fujiwara's dead body and stuff it into a wicker chest. Aw. The woman enters the chest herself, and the twins close the lid after her. There's no explanation for any of this right now, but as we explore the manor and beyond, with both Utsuki and Sakuya, everything that's going on here will become clearer. At the outset of Utsuki's scenario, we read a letter from her father, Doman, who informs her that he's been summoned by Lord Fujiwara. The Fujiwara Manor is actually close to Doman's home, just a short hike down a mountain path. Lord Fujiwara thinks his manor is cursed, and Doman believes Fujiwara is a big old scaredy cat who saw some rats and mistook them for demons. Doman tells Utsuki to look after the shrine while he's away, and not to forget to take care of the silkworms. He's also worried about Utsuki's older sister, Kureha, as she's been feeling unwell. Clearly, Doman ends up being away for far longer than Utsuki or her sister anticipated, and they head to the manor together to investigate. They find a silk seal woven onto the gate at one of the entrances, which is a bit strange. So, Utsuki uses the sacred cloth she has with her, she is a shrine maiden after all, to open the gate and gets a weird feeling about the place. You don't say. But Kureha, in her creepy monotone, says there's nothing to worry about and urges Utsuki to enter with her. I'll just take a time out here to say that I played the game with Japanese voices, but you can also play it in English if you're into that sort of thing.
Korea!
Oh, my sister Korea! Anyway, shortly after entering the manor grounds, the 2 sisters hear the same singing that we heard on the title screen. Kureha has a coughing fit and says that she'll go to investigate the singing by herself, and that Utsuki should wait here. It's always a good plan to separate when you're investigating a demon-infested manor. As soon as we gain control of Utsuki, we see a dead body on this circular garden path, and some creep giggling, circling around the path opposite us. It's all good. As we explore further down the garden path, we experience our first Tempest, which is a concentration of negative energy that emanates as a sort of psychic blast, which knocks your character back, and usually some other supernatural event will occur. As a gameplay mechanic though, it's meant to keep you from running everywhere. You can hold the circle button to run, but if you're running when a Tempest happens, you'll take a large hit to your health, which will put you in a state called vertigo. You can also be put into this state by taking too much damage from enemies. You can keep track of your health on the menu screen, but you'll also get different animations from the characters when they're in weakened states. When vertigo happens, the screen turns blurry, and one hit from an enemy will kill you, unless you use a healing item or press the R1 button to meditate. Meditation is a mechanic that allows you to heal to full at any time, but the more damage you've taken, the longer it will take to recover. So you need to make sure there are no enemies around so you have time to meditate properly. It's a cool mechanic actually, and it also makes the game overall pretty forgiving, unusual for a From Software game. Still, it fits in with the background of the playable characters and their spiritual natures. This tempest that Utsuki's experienced has knocked over a stone pillar, blocking her path, because knee-high obstacles are the bane of video game characters everywhere. On the other side of the rubble, we catch a glimpse of Kureha walking off into the darkness by herself, so Utsuki heads off to investigate the manor on her own. At around the same time, in the Yang phase of the story, Sakuya arrives at the manor with a trio of other Onmyoji, all disciples of Domon, who have been called to the manor by their master. These include Sakuya's older brother, Doryo, Dokai, the eldest of Domon's disciples, and Dochin, the youngest and most inexperienced of the bunch. If you noticed, all of the disciples' names, except for Sakuya, start with Do, which when written in kanji means the way or the path. Neat. The group talks about how it's been a month since Lord Fujiwara has disappeared, and Sakuya has a memory of talking to Domon about the incident at the manor before he left to investigate. Sakuya knows that the demons who have infested the grounds cannot be exorcised, but Domon tells her to basically grow a pair, because she's his student and not a disciple of the incompetent Abe no Seimei, who we'll learn more about much later. Dochin shakes Sakuya from her daydream and tells her that Dokai and Doryo have already entered the manor, so Sakuya heads off after Dochin and begins her own investigation. Gameplay is mainly exploration-based, finding items for healing and key items needed to progress and solve simple puzzles. Doors in the manor are locked by seals, like the one seen in the cutscene with Utsuki and Kureha, but the seals increase in strength throughout the playthrough, represented by different planets. You'll find more sacred cloths, like the one Utsuki starts with, so you can unlock more portions of the manor and other areas of the game. You also get maps of most areas that can be brought up at any time by pressing the L1 button. For combat, each character has a short-range melee weapon, along with access to consumable spell cards. And I'll get much deeper into how combat works later. Saving your game is done near bodies of water, marked by piles of sacred stones, and is known as the cleansing ritual. Saving is also limited by a consumable item, like the ink ribbons from Resident Evil. In Kuon, you use vessels, these little paper boats that have candles on them. Luckily, they're way more plentiful than ink ribbons in an RE game, so I never came close to running out of them. When you save, you float the boat down the body of water, and you can watch it. There it goes. Bye, little boat. I love you. So those are the basics of the gameplay, very similar to other survival horror games of the time. Like Silent Hill, Kuon makes great use of not only static camera angles, but also moving camera shots that really play with your expectations. There's some great moments like walking down this dark hallway only to be hit by a tempest and having the camera angle switch, showing this creep walking off in the foreground, with you now in the background. Or this late game moment when you have to crouch to enter a shrine area and you don't know what you're moving toward, and it's just so delightfully claustrophobic. It also uses quite a few jump scares. But these peter off and are replaced by just the tension of a great horror atmosphere later on. Getting back to the two scenarios and the story structure a bit, I said earlier that the Onmyoji team arrive around the same time as Utsuki and her sister. This is because the order of events can be a bit difficult to place at times. There are some moments that lead you to believe Sakuya's scenario takes place first. Like, about halfway through, you'll catch up with Dochin again, and he'll throw down a rope that he actually tied to a dead body to allow Sakuya to climb up from an underground area. And in the beginning of Utsuki's scenario, you see that rope tied around the dead body. But then, Utsuki visits a pavilion a little later on in her scenario and ends up falling through the floor. Yet, Sakuya explores that same pavilion, and it's one of the first places you'll visit in her side of the story, but the hole is already there. There's also some other things that both characters experience, like both of them witnessing the Princess Ayako running into her room and locking the door, both of them needing to find a bell to let her out, and both of them then seeing the princess dragged off by an evil spirit. You could chalk this up to the fact that it's just a video game, but there are some other interesting theories that could explain these overlapping situations and the incongruity of the timeline, which I'll get into in the spoiler section later. Anyway, the interior of the Fujiwara Manor is a mess. There's only a couple of people who are still alive by the time the Onmyoji team or Utsuki and her sister arrive at the place. The hallways and floors are littered with dead bodies and blood trails. There are ghosts and other demons running around, and evidence of something even more horrible that went down before they all arrived. Darkness, of course, is ever present throughout the game, and while the lighting effects here are not really much to write home about, Silent Hill 2 had more impressive shadows and the like, Kuon's softer approach with the use of torches and candlelight is still effective, and each character carries a light source with them at all times by default. Utsuki has a little candle on a string that never goes out, and Sakuya has a lantern. Attention to detail in both gameplay and environment has been a design principle of From Software since their early days. I think people sometimes get wrapped up in the Hidetaka Miyazaki era of From and attribute a lot of things like environmental storytelling, complex mechanics, difficulty, and satisfying level design to him alone. And while it's clear Miyazaki is excellent at all of those things and has a really imaginative mind and is a great director, those things I mentioned are just pillars of From Software's design philosophy since the early Kingsfield games. Miyazaki and his team have just elevated them to new heights with what they've created over the years. I say all this just because Kuon has all of these things as well. Unlocking shortcuts and new paths through the manor and other areas of the game feels satisfying. I also really like that the manor is very open, in typical Japanese architectural style, with lots of outdoor walkways and courtyards between rooms. It makes for a unique setting among survival horror games of the era. And all the nature that you'll encounter, from rock gardens to flowing springs to forest paths, the natural beauty of your surroundings is offset by these horrifying demons and the foreboding atmosphere. And again, that attention to detail. In Utsuki's scenario, you'll see dead bodies on the ground, and when you pass through the same area again, you'll see that the bodies have moved and only a blood trail leading to the water is left. You find out in Sakuya's scenario what's been happening to all these bodies. There's also a part of the manor where there are just these giant gashes in the wall, like a huge demon slashed at it with its claws. Some notes left by servants and others in the manor talk of giant creatures that attacked. It's great foreshadowing for later on, that you could completely miss if the game wasn't so focused on keeping you creeping slowly through it. I mentioned the tempests that cause damage to you if you're running, but the enemies can also hear you and will move to your position if you run, whereas if you were walking, you could have avoided them entirely. There are also various trays, candle stands, and partitions around that can be bumped into or knocked over when running, which will alert enemies and even summon ghosts that would have otherwise not been there at all. Also, running for too long will cause you to get fatigued, which will damage you, so you'll either need to use your finite healing items or stop and meditate to recover. The game does everything in its power to keep you moving slowly and studying your environment, and because of this slow burn design, the dense atmosphere and the horror of your surroundings can really play on your nerves. This is also helped by the sound design. Playing Kuon with headphones is highly recommended. There's a lot of multi-directional sound put to use here. It's not perfect, not like the Thief series or anything, where you can hear how far away a guard is just by listening through a door, but I found myself impressed pretty often by how well they balance the audio and sound effects. There were also some ghostly audio phenomena, like this early scene when you're walking toward the pavilion that I mentioned earlier. It was a place preserved for parties. You hear the sound of revelry in the night, people laughing, instruments being played, glasses clinking. But when you arrive, the place is a massacre, with dead bodies and evil spirits roaming the area. The music in Kuon is mostly low drones and other sound effects that will make you wonder whether it was part of the soundtrack or an enemy stalking somewhere around you. You'll also often hear the sound of running water as a stream flows through the manor, as well as crickets in the distance. These natural sounds mixed in with the unnatural ambience of the background tracks make for a disturbing soundscape. Enemies themselves are usually accompanied by the sound of a heartbeat, along with discordant strings, which adds a lot of tension to the fights. And when you're damaged, you'll hear a pounding heartbeat sound as well. However, I will say, the enemy designs aren't all that impressive. Some of the bosses are good, but the normal enemies are very similar. Ghosts are the weakest, but appear infrequently. especially if you aren't running. They also only swipe at you, and only take one hit to defeat. The Gaki, these little squat demon children, are the most common enemy. They can perform a swipe attack or a grab, and they're not too much of a threat, even when you encounter two of them at the same time.
It's a roguelike game. You can have multiplayer on it, and I'm pretty sure they're doing a playtest pretty soon. And so today, I have the opportunity to interview the game director for the game, Samuel Leonard.
Suikoden: The Woven Web of a Century was the last entry in the series that up until now was only available in Japan. Thanks to the endless efforts of the community, it's now fully available for non-Japanese speakers to enjoy, and it's by far one of the best entries in the franchise that's unfortunately stuck on the PSP. The story takes place in a world where terrifying creatures known as the Terrace Farmer attack it once every 100 years. Only the powerful Empire's unifying power appears capable of protecting the population, although some are skeptical of their motives after their prior involvement in a massacre of a town. This is where the player comes in and takes up the fight as the aptly named hero, who's joined by a band of like-minded individuals who seek to turn the tide of the battle and ultimately confront the Empire's evil deeds as well. Much like previous entries in the series, the battles take the form of a turn-based system and allow you to carry out a huge range of attacks and spells that are all tied to each individual character. Along the way, you'll come into contact with a range of people who will eventually join your cause, and this is where the Woven Web of a Century truly excels. Of course, the formation of your party on the battlefield also has its part to play, with you being able to choose which role you would like your characters to occupy. If you don't take this aspect into consideration, it's easy to find yourself at a loss, as strategically placing your fighters is the easiest way to give yourself an advantage. As a huge fan of the series, it was an absolute pleasure to finally be able to play this somewhat forgotten entry in the franchise. So if you've never heard of it, or if you're simply hoping to get some new Suikoden action, then Woven Web of a Century is one game you do not want to miss. When it comes to first-person shooters, the PSP wouldn't exactly be the most ideal choice, but that didn't stop developers from trying to bring the genre to the handheld, regardless of its lack of a second analog stick. Coded Arms Contagion is a sequel to the first game, which managed to improve upon nearly every aspect it introduced, with its fast-paced gameplay and surprisingly intuitive control scheme that makes it one of the best first-person shooters on the console. What stood out to me the most is the premise that sees you entering a computer system and fighting viruses who take the form of the enemy. It's your job to search the system in the hopes of locating your stranded teammates, and it's nothing that's going to win any awards, but it's definitely one of the more creative stories you'll find in a game of this kind. On the gameplay front, this is where Contagion excels, and provides the player with a slew of weaponry to help them come out on top. From shotguns to machine guns and more exotic offerings like railguns and futuristic grenades, you've got plenty of choices at your fingertips. To complement this aspect of the gameplay, there's a pretty robust upgrading system that sees you collecting currency throughout each level, and then being able to upgrade each weapon to your liking. This sense of progression really adds to the overall experience, and allows you to tailor your arsenal to your specific style of play. When it comes down to it, Contagion is by no means perfect, but it clearly accomplished what it set out to do, and that was to provide an enjoyable FPS on the go that's easy to jump into and play in short bursts. So if you fancy taking on a new shooter on the PSP, Coded Arms Contagion is definitely a great option. Wild Arms first hit the scene way back in 1996 on the PlayStation and managed to stand out amongst its contemporaries by providing a unique take on the somewhat cliché RPG setup that many have come to know and love. Instead of taking place in the usual fantasy world, it would instead see you making your way through an adventure that drawed upon the Wild West as its main inspiration. Taking place on a dying planet, the story sees you taking up the fighters Clarissa and Felis as they try to track down a notorious drifter known as Rupert, who stole a magical sword, which is said to have the power to return the world to its original beauty. As with many RPGs of this nature, you'll find yourself visiting a range of locations that all bring their unique flavor to the journey, as well as meet many interesting characters that help flesh out the world and the events that transpire. The script is without a doubt one of the game's crowning achievements, and really breathes life into the various people that occupy the world by providing a nice amount of personality and humor. Thankfully, the gameplay is just as impressive, and as with many tactical RPGs, the battles all play out on a grid, with the player taking control of several units as they clash with enemy forces. You've got the usual basic attacks and magic spells to carry out. You've also got the ability to take advantage of the game's unique hex-based grid system by surrounding the enemy on all sides so that you can perform formation arts instead of just a regular attack. These arts offer one of the best ways to deal with troublesome enemies and have the potential to turn the tide in the blink of an eye. If you're a fan of one of the many other SRPGs on the PSP like Disgaea or Final Fantasy Tactics, Wild Arms XF manages to hold its own when put up against them. With its charming story and engaging gameplay, it's definitely a game that's worth checking out. First appearing on the PlayStation 2, Jak and Daxter soon became one of the most prominent games on the system, which no doubt prompted a spin-off that saw Daxter jumping into the driver's seat in an adventure he could call his own. Developed by Ready at Dawn and somewhat of a technical marvel at the time, it all centered around Daxter trying to save Jak after he's captured at the end of the first game, and sees the gameplay reverting back to its platforming roots. You'll find yourself hopping around various unique levels, ranging from construction sites to jungles and rundown hotels that all bring along their own distinct challenge. Occupying each of them are a range of enemies that will stop at nothing to bring Daxter down, and luckily you've got many ways to keep them at bay. The most prominent is your trusty Fly Swatter that allows you to carry out a series of combos, but over the course of the game you'll also gain access to many different ways to counter the threat each enemy poses. This is where your firearm comes into play, with its type of fire being able to be changed on the fly through the use of various canisters that alter its abilities. The first is a gas gun, which temporarily stuns an enemy, giving you the chance to get a good few whacks in. Further down the line you'll grab a flamethrower, which is pretty self-explanatory, and finally a plasma grenade, which is almost essential when it comes to the many bosses that occupy the game. Like past entries, collectibles are also a huge part of the experience, and allow the player to access one of the many different minigames that are included. These take the form of scenes ripped straight out of popular movies like The Matrix and Indiana Jones, which provide a welcome reprieve from the usual platforming and shooting antics the main game offers. So if you can find the game on the cheap, Daxter is well worth adding to your collection. Now, the best way to describe Field Commander would be that it's essentially a realistic take on the popular Advance Wars series, and brings along with it a much more visceral take on the popular turn-based strategy setup. The gameplay is incredibly simple and sees all of the action taking place on a grid system, where the player gets to move their several units around the map and engage with the opposing forces. There's over 30 different types of units in the game that all bring their own unique abilities and strategies to the table, from the lowly infantry to the powerful and and devastating tanks, choosing which unit to use at the right time soon becomes the order of the day, and the best way to advance throughout the several missions that comprise the main campaign. Mixing the gameplay up beyond the various units that make up your army are the commanding officers themselves. Each of them belong to a division which have their own strengths and weaknesses, so choosing the right division to complement your strategies is vital, and there are so many that there's bound to be one that suits your approach. This isn't the only thing you can use to your advantage though, as there are many different factors that can help you achieve victory, with the main one being the terrain of the battlefield itself. For example, dense forests offer cover from tanks who can't make their way through, and cities bring with them higher amounts of defense for units that are placed within. What makes it different from Advance Wars though is that the terrain itself can actually be targeted and destroyed, which will constantly keep you on your toes and not just let you rely on this aspect of defense, as the playing field is constantly in a state of change. If you're a fan of strategy, then there is plenty here to love, and with a series of other modes to jump into apart from the single player campaign, it's a game that's likely going to last you a while. Wipeout has long been part of the PlayStation DNA, so it was a bit of a no-brainer that an entry in the long-running franchise would eventually find its way to the PSP. After the misstep that was Wipeout Fusion on the PlayStation 2, Pure brought it back to its roots and was a huge step in the right direction for the series as a whole. Set in the distant future, racing has been taken to a whole new level. Anti-gravity is now the norm, with each competition providing a faster, more dangerous and more intense experience than anything that had come before. You jump into a hovercraft and get to take on a generous amount of tracks, but it's not just simply about racing your rivals, as weapons also manage to play a part and produce some of the more hectic moments throughout each race. From simple lasers to bombs and even earthquakes, each race can instantly flip and see you trailing behind the pack if you're not careful and don't plan ahead. Thankfully, there are other items that can help you along the way. For instance, you've got standard speed boosts as well as shields that can help you avert the onslaught of attacks from the other racers on the track. Now, one aspect of the game which is simply mind-blowing are the beautiful and rich environments. The PSP is without a doubt an amazing piece of hardware, and Wipeout Pure pushes it to its absolute limit by not only featuring colourful and lush environments, but with all the frantic action going on, the game runs at a very consistent and fluid frame rate as well. The only negative I can raise against Fusion has to be the learning curve, which will take some time to get to grips with. Due to the insane speed you'll be travelling, it's quite easy to find yourself bashing into corners, but with enough practice and patience you'll soon be breezing through each track and style. Overall, with a huge collection of unlockables, a great sense of speed and addictive gameplay, Wipeout Pure is one of those games that you're gonna find hard to put down. Gundam Battle Royale is a stunningly addictive action combat game that will no doubt appeal to fans of the show as well as those who are looking for a challenge. Offering more than 130 different mechs, all with multiple weapons, optional equipment, and nigh on infinitely customizable stats, Gundam Battle Royale provides an unprecedented degree of freedom to the player. The gameplay is simple and very intuitive, and mainly revolves around dashing about each map and confronting the enemies that reside there. As I've mentioned, the range of weapons is staggering. From long-range guns to missiles and light swords, you're equipped for any situation that might pop up, and with the fluid controls allowing you to make your way around with ease, it soon becomes a delight to play. Each mobile suit has a lot of different ways to attack, either with one of its main weapons, a secondary weapon or ability, a charged attack, or an impressive special move. Most of the different attacks can be a lot of fun to play with, but unfortunately the melee assaults are rather underwhelming if I'm being honest. As you complete missions, you'll gain experience points that allow you to upgrade your mech and alter its appearance and skills to keep you on a level playing field throughout the various missions. It's not all just about mindlessly attacking enemies, however, as many of these missions require you to complete different objectives. From collecting specific items to escorting valuable targets, the game constantly throws new things for you to do, which really helps it from becoming stale. For Gundam fans, this one's a done deal, and it serves as one of the quintessential games that's worth your time. But for those of you who may not know the series or have no interest in it, Battle Royale still offers enough that will satisfy casual fans of action combat and is well worth picking up. Deadhead Fred has to be one of the most eccentric games on the PSP that sees you filling the boots of Fred Newman, a private detective who got in too deep and ended up losing his life as well as his head. Thanks to the efforts of a rather crazy scientist, Fred is now being resurrected with the ability to change his head, allowing him to take advantage of different powers. He's now hell-bent on finding those responsible for his demise. For as crazy as the story sounds, it's actually one of the most enjoyable parts of the game, with the witty and entertaining banter between the characters, which is only amplified by the incredible voice acting. Thankfully, the gameplay more than lives up to the lofty expectations set by the story, and sees you making your way through Fred's hometown of Hope Falls and encountering many obstacles that hope to hold you back from enacting revenge. This is where the combat system comes into play, and although it's quite simple, it manages to be effective and gut-wrenching at the same time. You've got a simple 2-button setup that allows you to perform a few combos, but once the enemy is stunned,
ではなく任務遂行中です。
ひらひら舞いましょあの方を見かけたら教えてください。邪魔しないでよ。
まだここは安全だ。
たちよ、ごきげんよ
遊んでいる暇はありませんので。
探検に興味はあるか？
魔法を見せてあげる。
与えて。
あたいがガサツ？そりゃどうも。
わらわの魅力から抜け出せぬじゃろ。 私飛べていますか？
まだここは安全だ。
動くな！悪党のお出ましだよ！私は宇宙最強だ！びっくり。僕が住んでいた森に行ってみたいの？森の外にはどんな世界が広がっているんだろう。ラテはホットラテでしょ。 邪魔しないでよ。電話なんかつまんないって。暇なら畑仕事でもする？
基本的な常識ですが、遠い昔この世界は魔法であふれていました。
友達になってくれるの？何かあったの？世界で一番かっこいい王様になるんだ。
今日の僕もツヤッツヤだ。
身軽でござる。
邪魔しないでよ。
ジ完了。バチバチってスパークが弾けるよ。飛び方を教えてあげようか。シュー。
常に平常心。
あいつただじゃおかねえ。
ブルーですね。
揺らぐものか。
芸術活動中だぞ。
基本的な常識ですが、遠い昔この世界は魔法であふれていました。
たちの出会いは素敵な偶然ですね。
バチバチってスパークが弾けるよ。思考夜がよい。鏡を触らないでください。平和なんかつまんないって。
荒い上等じゃねえか。
竜と戦ったクッキーをご存知ですか？
ポケットの中見せてみな。
学びたい気持ちがあれば誰だって学生よ。
青い小鳥さん、
久々の爽やかな風だな。
走るのが大好きなんだ。
カスタード一族は厳格な家風なのです。兵士としての義務を果たせ。
どうしたんだい、美しいレイディー。
幸せになりましょう。
久々の爽やかな風だな。
前を向いて進めばきっと世界中のクッキーに会えるはずです。
なんか用かい？
やることは山積みね。
警備隊長黒糖味クッキー、ここに忠誠を誓おう。 連射なら誰にも負けない。
なたはどんな夢を見ますか？森の動物たちと会ったことある？冬っていいよね。
王国のクッキーたちと話すのもなかなか楽しいですね。
前を向いて進めばきっと世
界中のクッキーに会えるはずです。
基本的な常識ですが、長時間の読書は目によくありません。
こっちに来るならゆっくり。
言いたいことがあるならわしに言ってごらん。僕、冬が好き。パーティーを開きたいわ。
ピクニック